the members, I've read several places where they've said that the Ouko shoes are very big. And they've even queried whether those shoes can be filled. And whether, in fact, they said, Nancy, will you fill these shoes? But let me tell you, that the shoes were big, I do not apologize about. The reason why I say that is because it is the shoes, just like if we were to rewind this occasion some 9 years ago, I would have said, I want to tailor a big shoes. I want to tailor a big shoes. Now, at that time, I would have said I'm tailoring my shoes based on, first of all, the challenges of uplifting the OAG from where I thought it was to where I imagined it should be in 8 years' time at that time. So the challenge was there. Then, of course, I was also taking over under the new dispensation, the new constitution, the 2010 constitution. And you know the challenges and the aspirations of Kenyans under that constitution. The increased and expanded mandate. So these things were in my mind as I said, I'm tailoring my shoes. And if at all, after 8 years, people have said the shoes are big, it's because I tailored it to be big, given the challenges, given our responsibility to Wanjiku, given the expanded mandate with devolution. The shoes could not have been any other than bigger. So don't worry about the big shoes. What you should worry now is how you are going to tailor your shoes. It is not what I tailored, but now you have to go through that same process. How big do you want your shoes to be said to be after 8 years of the same? The only thing I can tell you is certain pitfalls you should avoid, because that tailoring is yours. You know, when there are changeovers and there is always a syndrome which is there. And that syndrome, let me just be blunt, is a syndrome of thinking by undoing the past, you are making a bigger shoes. No, you won't be making a bigger shoes. You'll be making a smaller shoes. The syndrome of undoing or working against the past. All right? The other one which I would like to point out is a syndrome of purge. A syndrome where you feel that you want to purge the system. Be very wary of that. Purging means a lot of things. There'll be people who will come to you to say, hey, you have to do this, you have to change this, you have to do that. Be wary of such. When you're creating your shoes should be based on you and the strategy looking forward. And that is you alone who can now tailor that shoes. So that one day, after 8 years, they will see that bigger shoes again, which they might have seen in me. So be focused. There are other things I want to say, but I would like to say this in camera when we meet one-to-one. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so let me leave it there. But when you are building a shoes and when you are looking forward, it means that, yes, you recognize the past, but your day-to-day is not dwelling on the past. Because you'll be dwelling on the past if you fall those pitfalls which I've said. But I know you won't do that. I'm confident. So I really want to say, as a handover, I say, I'm confident that you're going to tailor a shoes which will one day, in hindsight, will be even bigger than Ouko's. And I will be able to be one of the people to say, Kenyans, you are wrong. There are bigger shoes to be created. And to the members of press, I have confidence that the shoes which is going to be created here is big, because the challenges are still big. With that, I really would like to say that as a handover, later on, there is sometimes people say pictures speak louder than words, and we can watch a video later on. But really, I've done my handover. And let me put this, I thank Kini, he's talked about the achievements. Let me say as certain basic things which I must say. I'm handing over also to you an office which is playing in the big league internationally, and that you know. I'm handing over to you, even though there was a break and had there not been this transitional break, I was going to hand over to you an office which was going to respond to the constitutional requirement of reporting within 12 months. You know that we were poised to deliver the national and the county governments. That it was there if we had not continued. I'm handing over to you an office which built an office in Garissa within 18 months in budget, an office which built an office in Kakamega within 18 months in budget, an office which built a major office which we foresaw to be the hub for the future in case you have cases like corona and there's discontinuity in business. There is an office which I've handed over in Eldoret with all the continuity and the backup systems. So this office, be prepared that you have an office in Eldoret which is ready for any day in case of any. So an office which is secure. And then I'm told that an office in Embu is almost up. I congratulate you. But I'm also handing now the things you now have to build on. I'm handing you a land in Mombasa. I'm handing you a land for your future home here in Nairobi. I'm handing on you a land in Kisumu. So I'm hoping that one day if we meet on the streets, after 3 years, you'll be saying Kisumu is on, Mombasa is on, but most importantly, our home, which I fought for ever since I came into this thing. Now, having said that, let me just finish by saying I worked under very difficult political environment. And I thank God that we managed as a team to stand strong and stand focused, and the Kenyan believed in us. That I'm handing over. I'm hoping that you will not face similar, sometimes very challenging political environment as I did. With that said, Honorable AG, the independence of this office. The independence of this office is yours to give away. And I repeat, the independence of this office is yours to give away. Think of that word, we can discuss one day. So with that, I'm confident that your shoes are going to be bigger. And I wish you well. Thank you. Some hand notes which I've written. So these are going to be the official, my handover notes. Some of the things I've said will be read in that handover note. And I also, when I took over, I decided also to document, as I said, I wanted picture to speak louder than words. There is what I call my transformation journey of the office. Yeah, please, this is my first batch. And let me just shake you. Yeah, well, it's handed over. Yeah, members of press, there it is.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. 8 years ago, and it was based on this constitution. This constitution is your Bible and your point of reference whenever you feel doubt, but it is you to make sure that this constitution, you discharge your duties.
Then we have the Public Audit Act, outlines.
Let me tell you, this was not an act easy to come to, because it had to be a fight for the office. Thank goodness we did. There are some other areas which now maybe you might want to look at it and mold it into your vision.
Definitely. Thank you.
Thank you. Then we have the strategic plan of the office.
Was developed by the people who you see in front of you. It was a team strategy. You are all right. You can now, of course, look at it, read it, but remember you are building you are tailoring your shoes in that context.
Thank you.
Yes.
Then we have the financial audit manual.
Or let me put it now, almost 60% of your work will be reporting on and our institution. So this is the manual which you learn on. Please guard it well.
Performance.
The most important responsibility to Wanjiku and to the members of parliament is the impact of our work and how much resources we have saved or we have avoided to be corrupted. And that is done through the performance audit which you must give them regularly. So you need to increasingly do more performance audit.
Thank you.
That office, the performance audit, must be one which is growing. You know, this, you might have also been a party to it, and my view was that for this office to be an active fighter or a contributory to the fight against corruption, we had to facilitate the office to be able to one day audit an issue, investigate it, and deliver it to the DPP. This is the manual you rely on.
Thank you.
And then finally, we have the lens that is also.
For coming for this handing over. I appreciate your presence here, and I appreciate your words of wisdom, which I'll take to heart moving forward. Former Auditor General, FCPA Edward Ouko, Deputy Auditor Generals, colleagues, members of the Fourth Estate, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is an honor to welcome you to the Office of the Auditor General to witness this significant occasion. And I want to particularly thank FCPA Edward Ouko for finding time to come for this official handover. Ladies and gentlemen, as you have heard from the representative of the Deputy Auditor Generals and from Eddie himself, he did a commendable job, a fantastic job indeed, as the first Auditor General of the Republic of Kenya under the 2010 Constitution. Eddie provided leadership and steered this office through challenging times, indeed turbulent environments that required he tailor the shoes to suit the environment. And the thing with shoes is they must be tailored to suit the environment. When the country was transiting to the devolved system of government, it was not easy. And he has alluded to the sacrifice, to the effort that he had to make to ensure that we continued providing audit services and that he continued issuing the reports. It took an effort to achieve this. And we thank you, Eddie, for providing that leadership. Taking leadership in the office at that time meant that Eddie, we call him Eddie sometimes,
Thank you.
meant that Eddie had to design and implement and also institutionalize strategic measures to address the constitutional requirements, key among them, provision of audit services at the grassroots, because we were going into devolution and we have devolution in place. And as a consequence, and as you will see in the documentary that we will play later, Eddie expanded the regional offices to bring audit services closer to the people where it matters the most. On the work process, and you have already heard this, Eddie revolutionized public sector auditing. We have been auditing in the last 8 years like we have never audited before, especially those of us who've been in public sector auditing for more than 10, 15 years. He brought in an audit management system that has enabled us to continue providing audit services through remote auditing. It was that great achievement that we didn't grind to a halt like some of the other entities and organizations in this country. There are, of course, many more transformative undertakings that mark Eddie's tenure, and I can say that he raised the bar high. Ladies and gentlemen, Eddie, we can only go higher from where you've left us. There is no turning back. And I think during one of the speeches you're making when you're saying kwaheri to the people, I alluded to that as an office, we are not going back. We can only achieve higher and higher results. I will build on your legacy and ensure that we continue developing and upscaling our audit services to meet the needs of the people, the expectations of the stakeholders, and respond appropriately to the constantly changing environment and the emerging risks that we find ourselves facing. I want to acknowledge the staff of this office. The Deputy Auditor Generals are here. Because of the health protocols, we could not invite more than the high level of representation, but I am alive to the fact that this is being streamed to the staff at all the offices wherever they are and at home. I wish to acknowledge the staff for continuing to discharge their duties even when there was a gap in leadership. This is an indication of great commitment and professionalism that I am proud to be part of. And I will be looking up to you, colleagues, for support in executing our mandate as enshrined in the Constitution, so that through our work, we can make a difference to the lives of the citizens. Ladies and gentlemen, as I have said before, my tenure will be anchored on 4 pillars. Independence, which I will not give away. I will keep it and I will uphold it. And together with my staff, we'll ensure that we continue working as an independent audit office. Credibility, relevance, and accountability. These 4 pillars will be the guiding principles in our work moving forward to enable us attain where we are lacking, maintain where it is present, and sustain professionalism and the reputation of the Office of the Auditor General as we serve the Kenyan people. I will be alive to the expectations of the citizens and other stakeholders by addressing their needs and contributing in transforming their lives through focused audit services and through the reports that I will issue to ensure that we constantly add value. Ladies and gentlemen, I will be seeking Parliament's support in requiring public entities to implement audit recommendations before the start of a subsequent cycle of audit. And by so doing, I hope that Kenyans will feel the impact of our work as a National Audit Office. During my swearing in, I undertook to prioritize the audit backlog occasioned by the delay in the recruitment of the Auditor General, and I can report that between then and now, I have set up mechanisms to address this, and I shall commence issuing the reports very soon. We are alive to the numerous challenges posed by the COVID-19 pandemic, and we are observing the Ministry of Health protocols to assure the safety of our staff and the staff at the audit entities, even as we focus on clearing the backlog. In conclusion, allow me to appreciate FCPA Eddie Ouko once more for the work, the tremendous achievements he has made in this office, and assure him that we shall continue to make significant contributions in the management of public resources. I wish you a blessed day, and I thank you. Thank you.